Hey guys, welcome. I'm just going to do a quick check here, make sure we are live. So I heard you guys did communication skills today during your trainings. It's pretty awesome, pretty awesome. Communication skills are actually very important in all kinds of aspects, and I'm sure you guys learned a lot about that today. And I'll definitely be asking you guys um, some of the things you learned that you can apply communication skills into the workplace. Because communication skills in the workplace are very, very important. I do apologize that I'm still checking this out. Let me see if I got my notification here. Let's see. Oh, let me see. Okie dokie. Huh. Well, I guess I'll go to my YouTube. Let's see if I'm on there, guys. Okay, I see me. I'm looking at, oh, there I am. Hey, Christina, Mo, Christina, how are you all doing? Good to see you. All right, and everybody out there, hope you guys all had a wonderful lunch, and I hope you guys enjoyed your day. I know we're day 2 of the new year, so it's pretty awesome, actually. Good stuff there. And like I said, I think the training you guys did today is a great training based off of communication skills. And I think one of the things to talk about is, some of the best things to do is to put that the training you used, all right, and then we're going to put it into some work scenarios, some ways you might discuss this in a work scenario. And I'm going to go through some effective ways, nothing crazy. You guys probably learned a lot of these. And like that?
You want people? No.
Yeah.
Wait.
In approximately 5 minutes.
All right. You got it.
Approximately 5 minutes. So, you guys, so I'm gonna just go through this little list, and like I said, it's nothing real crazy. You probably learned a lot of this because communication skills in the workplace. Number one, you think about like this: how does a team member, how are you going to communicate? Like, for example, if you're doing something and your team member maybe has asked you, hey, can you give me a hand with something? Well, you have to be able to communicate. Well, I'm sorry, man. I'll help you out in a little bit, but I got to get my task done too. Then I'll check in with the manager. And you have to be able to build that comfortable. You want to be comfortable with that as well. It's very important to practice communication skills because it's also too, your communication skills help you with the team as well, being a team member. I mean, when you guys are communicating, right? If you guys, let's say 2 of you are working on the same project, right? Well, you both don't need to be, for example, let's just say we're putting 2 different sizes of boxes away, right? Well, do you both need to be putting the same size box in the same spot every time? Maybe communicate to each other. Hey, how about you go get these ones knocked out? I'll knock these ones out. Communicate. It's just like I said. It's very important. It helps us better understand people and situations as well, and it helps us overcome diversities. It helps us build trust too, and respect, and create conditions for sharing creative ideas and problem solving. A lot of times, we might be reading somebody wrong. Maybe the person you're working with putting boxes away, maybe they're pretty grouchy this day. Instead of sitting there and assuming, oh, this person's being mean to me, why don't you ask them? Like, hey, everything okay today? You doing all right? If they choose not to answer the question, that's their right, but at the same time, it opens up that communication. And guess what? They might say, oh man, I'm sorry, dude. I'm having a rough day, but I got my stuff done. I apologize. It can solve a problem. Problem solving. Problem solving is done through communication. Communication though, not just work, you guys. It comes in handy in every aspect. any relationship, whether friendship or whatever, it comes in handy here at program, reading minds. I don't know if you walked around right now and asked any of the instructors or maybe even any of your peers if anybody here can read minds, probably going to get, most likely I'm going to say zero amount of the people are going to say, oh yeah, I can read your mind. We don't know what's going on unless you talk about it, right? So if you're having a bad day, say for example during a group, what would you want to do? Just walk off angrily and, slap a wall. Because remember, when you slap that wall, for example, that is still communication actually. That's just a physical form of communication. Because we also communicate through body language, our faces, the way we present ourselves. Those are all forms of communication. It's not always verbally. So in a situation where you may be getting frustrated, right, it would be probably a good way to work on your communication would be to go, hey, Janaya, I'm not feeling real good at this moment. Can I take a few minutes to take some space, right? Instead of just walking off, smashing stuff, yelling, hitting something. I mean, you couldn't do that in a workplace. You'd get fired, right? I mean, there's a good chance. You might not the first time, but it's a really good chance. So learning that communication is good, and learning it here is good. So today's training was a really good training, and it's really good, especially as we start going into this new year and all these new opportunities that are going to come up, and all these job opportunities that are going to arise for those of you who want to get out there and get in those. There's no such thing as the perfect place to work. All right. I mean, there are places that are much better than other places, and that has to do a lot with the people around you, how you guys communicate, how you guys work together, how you talk together. That makes a big difference. All right. The way you work with a group, the way you communicate with a group makes a big, big difference of your work environment. And like I said, it's okay to be upfront. We talk about assertive communication all the time. If you feel like there's a problem going on, instead of sitting around assuming, so-and-so's mad at you or doesn't, whatever, right? And it happens. A lot of us do stuff like that. We assume, oh, so-and-so's blah, 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 so-and-so. Why don't we just walk up and say, hey, are you mad at me? Just go ask him. All right? I mean, it makes a big difference. And we have to do that sometimes in the workplace as well, you guys. And so, I want to kind of go through, I'm going to name 10 things real quick. And then after this, we'll kind of start bringing you in. Like I told you, there are nonverbal cues with communication, okay? And nonverbal cues is, that's called recognizing. You want to recognize a nonverbal cue during communication. It's crucial in understanding and influence the individuals one communicates with by observing their nonverbal cues. Some people might not be in the mood to have that conversation at that time, and others might, right? Active listening, okay? Some of us do listen. Some of us show we listen, all right? But active listening, sitting there, looking at them, nodding your head, having a body position that shows you're listening, kind of leaning up, looking for, leaning into the conversation. If you're sitting back all like this, relaxed, and kind of over here looking this way, you're not really showing them that you're listening. Feedback, you guys. Feedback is important. After you're done hearing what someone has to say, give a little feedback. It also shows that you have been listening. Confidence. It's good to speak with confidence. It's good to come in and talk with confidence. It helps with conflict management. There's empathy involved. There's and just a simple sign of respect when you're listening. Also, too, building relationships, improves your customer service skills, and improves your volume and your clarity when talking. All right, clarity is important. We haven't done it in a long time, but we used to do that game, with those filler words and things like that. if you're in the middle of a really important conversation, a lot of times those filler words will take over the conversation you're having, and that person will just say, oh my gosh, that person just walked out of here saying a bunch of hums and oh, you whatevers, and so you want to remember that. Also, too, information to inform each other of something. If there's something that needs to be done, how are you going to know unless you, so let's say somebody walks in the building and there's something that needs to get done and you haven't told them. Can you get irritated at them if they haven't done it? You guys never talked about it, right? You have to discuss these things. And so these are just a few of the things I'm going to go through right now. But next up, I'm going to have Mr. Blaine come on up.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, sir, how are you? Let me put all this tablets away and all this fun stuff. How are you, sir?
I've been good. You, Mr. Zach?
Good. Grab a seat there. So you guys did communication today.
Yeah, we did.
And what is something like, okay, so if you were working and one of your coworkers, I don't know, maybe was having a bad day, what's something you might do?
And my coworkers had a bad day.
I say, yeah, let's say you don't know, but they're just not the same. Now, what would you do to go about that?
I say, are you okay or what's wrong?
So you would communicate with them.
Yeah.
Nice. And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Now, if the person chooses not to answer that question, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But at least what you've done is you've put yourself out there and you've shown your coworker that you care enough to ask that question.
Yeah.
And you show concern, and that builds a relationship between you and that coworker.
Yep.
That's good. That's good. What was one of the favorite things you learned today during your communication skills training?
Me and Ray were like talking about like bad customer service, how to deal with it.
Yeah, that's a good one. No, that's a good one. It's one of the easiest ones to role play too. Did you guys do any role plays, or did you guys just get to talk about it?
So we did role plays
Fun.
like
My favorite.
that I forgot his French fries at McDonald's.
Okay, so here, I think I might be able to try this. So you just came to me, or no, I just ordered some food,
Mm-hmm.
and you just called out order 156. I come and I pick it up. I get my 156. I look in the bag, dude, where are my French fries at?
Sir is going to
Dude, where are my fries at, man?
Okay, sir, calm down.
All right, okay, I'll relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to help me out?
I will help you, sir, and I will get your French fries ready.
Oh, okay. Are they gonna be fast, or is it gonna? I mean, I need to go.
It's gonna be fast.
Well,
Okay.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You can't always make the guy you can't always make him perfectly happy,
Yeah.
but you know what? You can do your best. You did a good job.
Thank you.
And remember too, if someone starts to disrespect you at that point, yeah, get your manager, let them get disrespected for you.
Yeah. Or just don't be like, I'm gonna call the cops.
Yes, definitely. Try to solve the problem. Communication does help out with solving problems.
That's true.
The more and more you use it, the more and more you utilize it, your skill, Blaine, in that situation, eventually you could become like the guy where people are, we forgot fries again. Better get Blaine. He's really good at knowing how to handle these folks.
Yep.
So you can, it's a good skill. It's great. Good job, Blaine.
Thank you, Zach.
All right. Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. I got another guy sitting here. He's got a nice bright orange sweatshirt, one of my favorite colors. I believe I know his name is Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hey.
How you doing?
Amazing.
Doing amazing today?
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that. So during communication skills, what was something that you took from it today?
Like greetings.
Greetings, very important. Chris is right. Greetings are very important. First impressions, kind of things like that.
Yeah.
So, what did you like about the greeting? Do you know what? Did you guys talk about like the importance of that first greeting and what was something that you guys? What's important? What's one thing that's important about the first greeting?
Like good morning.
Yeah, those.
And the holiday, yeah.
No, you know what? Chris brings up a great point. When simply saying good morning to somebody, walking by them, simply saying good morning, saying hey, how are you, little things like that. Those are great things that build up team. It builds up your rapport with your coworkers. And it sounds like very little, right? It doesn't sound like a lot, but those things add up. And then also too, I know, just for example, Chris, if you don't mind, Chris usually, I ask Chris how he's doing most of the time. Most of the time I get good, pretty good, or amazing. Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And I can then gauge Chris and how Chris and I, the day we're gonna have, or what I need to talk to Chris maybe about that day, or what I can talk to Chris about, based because I asked him how he's doing. I know how he's doing. Now, if let's say I didn't ask him how he's doing, and let's say you were having a rough day, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna get my jokes. He's not gonna get the funny stuff that we might talk about. And I'm disrespecting him because, I didn't take the time just to simply ask how you were doing. So it's very important, and people really do like that. I always say something, Chris, people who work in restaurants and stuff, those name tags aren't for them to remember their names. It's always nice when you go into the store and you get done saying something, you go, hey Chris, why don't you have yourself a good day? So it's a good deal. I like that, Chris. I like that a lot. Good job, man. Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay.
If you guys can, find out where Chris gets his sweatshirts, because I need to get an orange and a purple one. Come on up. Next, sir. Having a hard time walking. I don't know, is it zombie or Frankenstein? Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am doing pretty good.
Doing good? You have a good lunch?
Yeah.
You have a good New Year's and all that fun jazz?
Well, I was able to be there for New Year's instead of being at home going, I'm having a headache.
Well,
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good year.
that's a pretty good year. There's nothing wrong with that. So during your communications today, what is something, your communication skills, what is something that you took and found that you could maybe put in into the workplace? Something.
Well, me and a couple of other people went out with Joe to basically see how certain employees work at these certain stores. And we went to 3 stores, and we encountered one at this place called Play It Against Sports. You heard of it?
Yeah, I know we're playing against sports.
Yeah, it's near the FYE and Mountain Mike's, Priceless Treasures, the store.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so we went there, and basically we were just sort of looking around, and Joe was talking to this one red-haired bearded dude about disc golf, and they engaged in a lot of repertoire and sort of thing, and I was just staring at all the stuff that was around, mostly, of course, the discs for the disc golf, the little frisbees that you throw, and they were just engaging in conversation, and if I were engaging in a conversation like that, I would just be like, oh my god, stop. But at the end of the day, I realized something about the employee that was very apparent, that he had a lot of passion and energy for his job, and maybe a little too much energy, because with some places of employment, they would probably be like, yeah, could you not talk to as many customers? But at the same time, that sort of energy is understandable, because really you kind of need that energy to try to sell something and try to get customers there.
Well, his communication skills, if you can make a connection with somebody that is so, sounds like Joe and him, they had a connection when it came to disc golf, right?
Yeah.
So this disc golf connection that this gentleman discussed with Joe, it actually it can turn into more. That can turn into Joe now coming back, and I mean, I don't know where the conversation went, but let's say it was something that was really good. Who knows? Joe might come back and get materials there. Joe might come back and who knows? Maybe that guy and him play disc golf one day. I mean, those relationships are they build off of those. So that's a very good. Now, so you guys observe. So when you were observing workplaces, did you observe how people communicate? Like, and
Yeah.
I'm not talking Joe talking. I'm talking, did you observe how different employees might talk to different employees? Sometimes it's
Yeah.
nonverbal, communication. There's all kinds of things that go on.
Yeah, I think I sort of observed that as while Joe and the bearded dude were having their little conversation, at the same time there was just two others having this, little small talk here and there, and observing that they did have some mutual respect for each other and certainly helped out the customers the best they could. Same thing when we went to this comic store where this lady was sort of just kind of there and mostly just making sure to, so, we don't try to be all like, we're gonna get away with these things. And so she was just sort of there and it was alright, really. She helped out the best she could, and again, she was probably there just to make sure we weren't trying to steal stuff, but yeah, but it also showcases that there's two different ways an employee will interact. One will be upfront, energetic, just be able to like, hi, can I help you? And they'll be ready and jet set to help you out and engage in a whole lot of conversation. And some will just be like, yeah, hey, try not to steal anything.
Well, yeah, but what was your energy when you walked in? Remember, they feed off your guys' energy as well.
It was just
Someone, now, didn't you think about it? Was it one person working, two people working?
one person.
One person. One person has to look at things differently than, let's say, two or three people working
Yeah.
together. When you have support and things like that, so all these things go into consideration too. And so this one individual just watched 4 individuals walk into a store at one time. They unfortunately might not, and I'm not excusing this person at all. I'm just simply saying this might be part of those differences when it comes into communicating. They had to be maybe a little bit more observant, and if they got caught up in the conversation, maybe, let's say, had you guys chose to, you could have taken advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you guys would have, but I'm just saying that's something that maybe she has to also to think about as well. So, no, that's cool though. That's cool. Sounds like a nice day. Sounds like a fun day to get out there and
Yeah, it was,
see some differences.
Yeah, it was nice. Plus, I got to give someone some advice when out hunting at thrift stores for when you're collecting DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS tapes, etc., etc.
Cool. So you opened up some communications with a fellow customer.
Well, not necessarily with a fellow customer, but with one of the people that I was with during the little adventure.
Okay.
But yeah, I still gave this person some advice.
Nice. Well, very nice. Awesome. Thank you, sir. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it. Thank you. Come on up, sir. Who we got next? I think we got Brennan next. I don't even know what time it is.
It's like 22 after, 23 after.
Okay. Thank you, Brennan.
You're welcome.
How are you?
Doing good, how are you?
Good, good. Communication skills. Were you in a group or did you go out today?
I was in a group.
Okay. So what's something, and having worked before, and still working, I mean, technically, what are some of the things that you find with your communication skills that benefit you? Let's say, okay, here's a really good one. So you and Jesse are working parking. Do you guys just stand there and assume somebody's gonna do one thing and somebody's gonna do the other thing?
No.
What do you guys do?
We discuss it and figure out who needs to stand where, who needs to talk where, and make sure everybody has a mic on, a walkie with them. Because
Nice.
of it being out in the parking lot, you gotta have to have at least 2 people.
Yep. No, you're right. You're right. So you guys communicate that. Having done that, how would you feel if you just walked out there and they just stood there and waited for you to try to figure out what you were gonna do? How would you feel?
I would feel anxious for one,
Yeah,
because it would be very busy.
Uh-huh.
With it being very busy, a lot of cars, and when you get a lot of cars, you get lines.
Yes, exactly. Now, in order to help you alleviate that anxious feeling, right? How would you approach? So let's say Jesse's out there, and you know how it is. Man's busy, right? Tons of cars in line. He really doesn't have a lot of time to communicate to you. What would you then do to Jesse?
I would ask him, where do you need me to be?
There you go. Yeah. Sometimes we just have to play the default, you know. I've seen your guys' general manager do that before. instead of coming out there and taking over, she comes out there and defers to you guys and says, what do you guys need? You know, and then she takes in and does your thing. So
Yeah.
that's 100% right. And,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what you would do. And I know you've had the opportunity to not only use that on that work level, you've gotten to use it with customers.
Mhm.
And have you seen the positives? And I mean, you've probably seen a little bit of both, but can you say you probably see more positives when you're communicating with a smile on your face?
Oh, definitely.
And with a
Definitely.
good high energy?
Oh yeah, like I could now. I mean, I knew a lot going into working with the summer,
Uh-huh.
but since I just worked the holidays, I could actually take that much more experience and take it over to my summer job because now I'm used to it. I'm more loose, you know. I can interact with the people and not overthink it. I can just be out there doing my job, doing whatever it may needs to be done, and I can still interact with the crowd.
Very nice, nice. Yeah, that's the cool thing. Brendan brings up a good point, you know. As you do different jobs or as you put yourself in different situations, you know, there's something you can learn out of them. You know, even if you make a mistake, I mean, it happens, you know. Communication, there's some people that are probably a lot better than other people. But communication is something that can still always get a little mixed up sometimes. Yeah, I think that's awesome that you were able to learn and go like, oh yeah, now you know what, I can now use this when I go back to this, and that's very good because communication is something that transfers to really anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, life in general. You know,
Right.
I mean, if your bus driver misses your stop, if you just sit there quietly, you're gonna be on the bus till who knows when.
Right? Yeah, you're gonna be out there standing. It's like you're just past.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So communication is it's a constant. So it's really important, you guys. So awesome. No, I like that. I like both of those things,
Yes.
Brendan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Iden, come on up. No, the time did not save you. You have 2 minutes left. Come on up, sir. Have a seat. So what'd you do today? Were you in a group in here?
Yeah, here.
In here? Okay. And did you guys talk about communicating?
Mm-hmm.
And what's something you learned that's very important about communicating?
Like, hello,
Hello, so greeting.
good morning,
Good
how
morning.
are you?
How are you? So a lot of just the standard greetings. Those are very important. Now you also do a lot of hard work over at Salvation Army, am I right?
Yes,
Now, do you guys communicate there?
yes.
Do you guys communicate? Now, what's something you might, so what's one of the things that you do a lot over there?
Like open boxes,
So you open boxes,
Mhm.
okay? So what's something you might communicate to one of your fellow team members? What's something you might say?
like anyhow, or like,
So if you're having a struggle,
Mhm.
right? Great point here. You're struggling, having an issue with a box or you know whatever. Can't fill it fast enough. I don't know. Well, everything that goes on. You know what are we gonna do? He's got to ask for help. That's good. That's good. You should ask for help. It's better than sitting there with an empty box going, right? Just looking around. Huh? No, that's good. What else is something you might say to somebody? Let's say you're I don't know. Let's say okay, something simple. Let's say you just need a break for a minute. Do you just stop?
no,
Do you?
still working.
Okay, well you stay on. But what if you do need a break for a minute? What would you do?
Wait, okay,
Yeah, would you let your teammates know that you were taking a break?
yes,
Now you want to communicate that, right? Because all of a
Yes.
sudden, if you're off that line, your teammates might look and go, "What? I didn't know Ivan took a break." So you want to communicate those things too. I know we do that around here for lunches and stuff in our breaks. It's important. We got to communicate as well. It's always important to let our fellow coworkers just know we're going to maybe be on break. So if they do come looking for us, it's like, oh, okay, they're on break. So
Mhm.
that's good. That's good. How
Thank
do you
you.
feel? Do you feel better about how are yous and hellos and all
Yeah.
those things?
Mhm.
Yeah. Because communication,
That's
it's
good.
It's good. It is. Well, it is good. It is good. So you guys, communication is really it's just really important, guys. Bottom line, it's important. But remember, there's nonverbal, you can write, there's written communication, there's oral communication, there's nonverbal communication. In today's world, our emails and our texting, those are all forms of communication. We communicate probably a lot more than I'm sure I communicate more than my grandparents did. We communicate, our options of communication are a lot. Now, does it necessarily mean we're good at it? I'm not saying that, because sometimes with all those forms of communication, we can get a little lazy in our communication. But it is very important, and it's very important when it comes to working and being a part of a team and being able to contribute not just your work, but I've told you guys this a lot of times folks want to work with somebody that they feel comfortable working with. So those kinds of communications, being that kind of person, showing that you care, those are kinds of things that people will acknowledge and they will see, and they enjoy those things about people. So you guys, good job. Ivan, good job.
Thank you.
Everybody else who came in, good job with your examples today. And there's a whole lot more on communication. We could go into this subject. Seriously, this could be like a 3-week, 4-week training on communication, you guys. But you guys did really good, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a great day, and I hope you got something out of this today. Have a good one, guys. Later. Say bye to everyone.
Bye.
All right, guys.